In the previous spoiler, it was mentioned that although Luo Feng's movement techniques were elusive and unpredictable, he was still completely suppressed by Giant Stone due to the latter's incredibly tough divine body, leaving Luo Feng in a passive and defensive state. Realizing he was no match, Luo Feng decisively summoned the Golden Horned Beast to join the battle. It's important to note that at the very start of the battle, Luo Feng had already released his world projection, and the area covered by this projection was precisely the battlefield where the Golden Horned Beast could appear at any time. The sudden arrival of this massive, terrifying beast immediately put Giant Stone on high alert. He even felt a hint of dread. What unsettled him the most was that he couldn't identify the creature's true identity. He could only deduce from its massive form that it likely belonged to the Space Beast race. Don't forget, the Golden Horned Beast at this point was not only wearing the silver general grade armor, but had also activated the first level of Beast God transformation. Its appearance was completely different from before, and even its most recognizable feature, the golden horn, was gone, making it resemble a true beast god. Naturally, Giant Stone had no way of recognizing it as the golden horned beast. It's worth mentioning that Sitting Mountain Guest's previous incarnation had ascended to the level of God King level through his mastery of the path of crafting. His profound understanding of the great Tao of matter allowed him to forge the silver general grade's armor with incredible capabilities. It could freely change size and automatically adjust to sync with the transformed golden horned beast under the secret technique deity of the world. So regardless of how the beast's size changed, the armor could easily fit. As for the terrifying aura that caused Giant Stone's soul to tremble, it was actually a calculated effect Luo Feng achieved by manipulating the Shi Wu wings. In fact, any weapon at the treasure level or higher carries a certain degree of oppressive aura, and the Shi Wu wings, being part of an eternal true god's mechanical style weapon, possess an even more intense presence. As for beings at the immortal level and above naturally possess an oppressive aura is because, when a world master breaks through to become an immortal, their body absorbs the divine power granted by the origin of the universe, transforming into an immortal divine body. Seeing Luo Feng remain calm and composed, Giant Stone couldn't help but grow suspicious, wondering if this mysterious beast might somehow be connected to Luo Feng. But at that moment, he no longer had the luxury of focusing on Luo Feng. The oppressive aura radiating from the beast was simply too overwhelming. Relying on his vast combat experience, Giant Stone instinctively judged that the monster before him posed a very real threat to his life. What he didn't know was that the terrifyingly imposing beast before him was, in fact, merely a world master level life form. The terrifying aura it radiated actually came from the Shi Wu wings on its back. Not only could they disguise its presence and create the oppressive aura of a king immortal, but they could also block detection from anyone below the universe master level, making its true strength completely untraceable. Before Giant Stone could react, the golden horned beast launched into action without hesitation, bursting forth with a sudden, explosive speed that resembled teleportation. In an instant, it appeared right in front of Giant Stone, tore through his divine body with a claw, and then shattered him with a palm strike. This sudden, ferocious onslaught left Giant Stone with only one conclusion: the beast's combat power had reached the level of a king immortal. He couldn't believe that on the remote Misty Sand Island, outside the main continent, he would encounter such a powerful existence. Gripped by fear, he no longer entertained the thought of fighting back. He even forgot his hatred toward Luo Feng. His mind was consumed by a single thought: escape. As a rock-based lifeform, Giant Stone possessed a divine body far stronger than that of an ordinary Marquis immortal. But for that very reason, he was inherently disadvantaged in terms of speed. The laws governing the operation of the universe maintain their own balance. If one holds an overwhelming advantage in one aspect, they will inevitably be limited in another. To break free from this shackle, one can only rely on cultivation to make up for it. Although Giant Stone was a Marquis immortal, his speed was several times slower than that of the golden horned beast, leaving him completely incapable of escaping its pursuit. He could only be smashed to pieces again and again. Yet no matter how many times the golden horned beast attacked, no matter how often it shattered Giant Stone's divine body, it still couldn't shake his essence, not even managing to inflict a minor injury. This is because, once a cultivator breaks through to the Marquis immortal level, their soul imprint becomes fully integrated into every cell of their divine body. Unless one possesses overwhelming power capable of piercing that imprint, no matter how the divine body is destroyed, as long as the imprint remains intact, the divine body can instantly regenerate without any loss in strength. Therefore, when the gap in strength between two opponents isn't enormous, the attacker often must burn their own divine body, sacrificing a portion of their divine power to annihilate the opponent's divine power. But burning too much of the divine body not only weakens the attacker's overall power, but it also requires a long time to recover, making it a costly and unfavorable trade. That's why a low-tier king immortal rarely expends large amounts of divine power just to kill a high-tier marquis immortal. This also explains why Giant Stone chose to flee immediately rather than fight to the death, as he knew that as long as he didn't provoke his opponent too much, and the other party wasn't willing to burn their divine body, he still had a chance to survive. What's more, Misty Sand Island's air is thick with particulate dust, creating extreme spatial resistance. If a pursuer hasn't mastered teleportation, even at maximum speed, it becomes incredibly difficult to close the gap when both parties are already moving at their limits. However, what truly enraged Giant Stone was this: the golden horned beast was far faster than most king immortals. Time and again, it smashed him into pieces, leaving him no chance to accelerate to his full potential. Fortunately, even though his divine body was shattered, the pursuing star-eating grass was unable to devour him, otherwise, he would likely have already met his demise. After all, even 100 Vine-level immortal star-eating grass is only comparable to a human peak immortal army lord and is simply incapable of restraining the divine power of a marquis immortal, let alone devour it. Giant Stone felt utterly humiliated, beaten repeatedly while fleeing for his life, forced to lower himself and beg in a submissive tone, just hoping the beast would let him go. After all, the beast hadn't burned its divine body to kill him outright but instead repeatedly smashed him to pieces, as if toying with and humiliating him. However, what Giant Stone didn't know was that the beast was actually only at the World Master level and had no divine power to burn. It wasn't that it refused to kill, it was simply incapable of delivering a fatal blow. In fact, whether in terms of law comprehension, physical attributes, or burst speed, the Golden Horned Beast completely overwhelmed Giant Stone. Ever since the Golden Horned Beast comprehended the Beast God's realm on the Blood River continent, its most powerful killing move had been the Heaven-Tearing Claw. However, no matter how Luo Feng executed it, he could only tear Giant Stone's divine body apart and smash him into fragments, yet he was never able to truly harm his core, let alone kill him. If this stalemate continued, it would not only be meaningless but might also attract other marquis immortals to join the assault. After much thought, the only way to break the deadlock and elevate the level of attack was with the Shi Wu Wings. It must be known that the grade of Shi Wu Wings far surpasses that of the Beast God weapon. Even a mighty universe master might not be able to destroy it. Its value alone is enough to ignite fierce battles among universe venerables. Furthermore, the scales and feathers forged from extremely hard material are hundreds to thousands of times sharper than those of the Yunemo spaceship, demonstrating its terrifying killing power. More importantly, from the very first time Luo Feng mastered this weapon, he discovered that even the first of its three forms, once activated, could manipulate the power of space. As a complete mechanical wing weapon, it could even invoke the law of chaos, devouring all things and returning them to chaos. Even now, as an incomplete piece, it still retains a terrifying aura of destruction. Thus, the Golden Horned Beast suddenly unleashed its flying technique, streaking past Giant Stone at high speed. With a casual swipe of the Shi Wu Wings, it directly sliced Giant Stone's divine body in two. The lingering aura of destruction inside rapidly corroded his divine power, causing unbearable pain. Although Giant Stone had been smashed into pieces many times before, he had never endured such torment. Even though only a tiny portion of his divine power was eroded, the Golden Horned Beast could strike multiple times every breath. What was even more terrifying was that ever since the Golden Horned Beast obtained the Shi Wu Wings in Primal Chaos City, those wings had long since fully fused with its original wings, becoming like a part of its body. As a result, it could wield this supreme treasure as effortlessly as moving its own wings, with perfect ease and agility. At this moment, Giant Stone finally realized that escape was impossible. Originally at a disadvantage in speed, Giant Stone's situation became even more critical after the Golden Horned Beast unleashed its flying technique enhanced by the Shi Wu Wings. His divine power rapidly drained, and in just a short moment, less than half of his divine body remained, causing a significant weakening of his combat strength. If it had been an immortal army lord powerhouse, the Golden Horned Beast could have slain them with a single strike, illustrating just how terrifying the destructive aura carried by the Shi Wu Wings is in corroding divine power. With no way out, Giant Stone could only despairingly choose self-destruction, attempting to severely injure the Golden Horned Beast by taking it down with him. Given their extremely close distance, the shockwave caused by a self-destruction of an immortal is nearly impossible to evade. This was his last chance to strike back before death. However, what he never expected was that the wings on the Golden Horned Beast's back were an overwhelmingly powerful treasure capable of weakening over 90% of the shockwave's force from his self-destruction, leaving the beast's core completely unharmed. Don't forget, the golden horned beast was also clad in the silver general grade armor, which similarly has the ability to weaken attacks. Otherwise, no matter how confident Luo Feng was, he would never have risked his life so easily. This battle not only unexpectedly confirmed to Luo Feng the possibility of killing a Marquis Immortal without divine power, but more importantly, it pointed him in the direction for future secret technique creation. As a cultivator of the mental space fusion law, it was inherently difficult to borrow existing secret techniques. Currently, the strongest related secret techniques were created by the universe overlord Shi Luo Duo, centered on the spiritual master lineage. While Luo Feng's human body could still continue the spiritual master cultivation system, the golden horned beast specialized in close combat, overpowering enemies with sheer physical strength. In the warrior lineage, there were almost no combat secret techniques based on the metal space fusion law, so he had to create his own. This battle undoubtedly gave him great inspiration. Without hesitation, Luo Feng immediately, as a core world master of the Virtual Universe Company, used his points to exchange for wing-related secret techniques as references and integrated his understanding of the beast god artistic conception into them. He set about creating a set of combat secret techniques truly suited to himself. During the construction of these secret techniques, Luo Feng devoted himself almost entirely to the creation process, only using the golden horned beast and stepping onto the battlefield for practical tests to continuously enrich and perfect his secret technique system through real combat. Although Luo Feng did not strike many times in the form of the golden horned beast, he almost annihilated all enemies in every battle. The only reason some foes survived was mostly because their numbers were too great to pursue them all. Such a high kill rate caused countless hostile alien races to speculate whether the golden horned beast had already reached the power level of a king immortal. Its reputation quickly spread throughout the entire Mist Sand Island, becoming the most feared existence among enemies. After more than a century of dedicated refinement, Luo Feng finally constructed the prototype of a wing combat secret technique. Although not yet mature, its power already surpassed that of the Hidden Shadow Seven Blades. As the youngest direct disciple of the Primal Chaos City leader, Luo Feng naturally received special attention. Therefore, still in a stage of rapid strength growth, Luo Feng asked the Primal Chaos City leader to personally evaluate and guide him as soon as the secret technique had its initial form, aiming to avoid deviating from the correct path during its construction and thereby affecting its final effectiveness. Luo Feng was completely open about this and demonstrated the secret technique in his golden horned beast form. After all, the Primal Chaos City leader already knew about Luo Feng's sole possession of the golden horned beast, so there was no need to conceal it further. In fact, besides the Primal Chaos City leader and Sitting Mountain Guest, only the founder of the Huge Axe Dojo likely knew of the golden horned beast's existence. The Primal Chaos City leader's realm far surpasses Luo Feng's. With his sharp insight, he immediately discerned the core of Luo Feng's secret technique and noticed its imperfections and unresolved flaws. Therefore, he personally arranged one formidable enemy after another to refine Luo Feng's secret technique through real combat. Each confrontation precisely targeted its weaknesses, even selecting special races with innate secret techniques as sparring opponents for Luo Feng. In the eyes of the Primal Chaos City leader, based on the talent Luo Feng displayed, he should be able to create a top-level secret technique within 1,000 years, which on par with the secret techniques created by ordinary king immortals or the top 10 world masters of the 5 major factions. However, the reality far exceeded expectations. Luo Feng spent only 200 years establishing this top-level technique. Furthermore, within that millennium, he continuously refined it and eventually elevated it to the level of a pinnacle level, which is a realm of secret techniques that only invincible king immortals like King Jinyan, who are incredibly close to universe venerables, can achieve. Of course, this doesn't mean that Luo Feng's strength can already rival that of King Jinyan. After all, he is still only at the world master level. Whether it's his mastery of the original laws, the limits of his fundamental power, or his combat experience and coordination of various secret techniques, he still falls far short of an invincible king immortal. However, what's truly astonishing about Luo Feng is that he has cultivated for less than 10,000 years. It should be noted that most world masters cultivate for hundreds of thousands of years, yet the secret techniques they create remain mediocre at best. Even the core world masters of the 5 great factions and the Marquis Immortals scattered across the universe can only develop ordinary-level secret techniques. However, Luo Feng, in less than 10,000 years, has created a pinnacle-level secret technique comparable to the preparatory level of a universe venerable, clearly demonstrating his extraordinary talent. Behind all this, of course, is the meticulous guidance of the Primal Chaos City leader. With every real combat trial, The city leader could precisely identify the weak points of Luo Feng's secret technique and arrange the most suitable and targeted opponents for him. Had Luo Feng been left to explore, test, and perfect his skills slowly on the extraterritorial battlefield by himself, even if he eventually created a secret technique of the same level, it would likely have taken hundreds of thousands of years. What's even more admirable is that among the many opponents arranged by the Primal Chaos City leader were numerous formidable enemies, several of whom had caused Luo Feng to struggle intensely, even troubling him for over 100 years. Without these countless defeats and life-death battles, Luo Feng would hardly have been able to unleash his potential under pressure, break through his limits, and elevate his secret technique to the peak level. This also indirectly confirms the great significance of the virtual universe system to the human race, as it can perfectly simulate real weapons and various secret techniques and even allow practitioners to comprehend the universe's original laws within it. Secret techniques created by cultivators inside the virtual universe can also be flawlessly executed in real life. This system advantage is one reason why humanity can still grow into a peak race despite generally being weaker than other strong races in physical quality and life gene levels. The Primal Chaos City leader was extremely satisfied with Luo Feng's performance. Initially, he only expected Luo Feng to create a top-level technique within a millennium and did not hope for further breakthroughs. After all, Luo Feng's comprehension of the laws had not yet reached the King Immortal level, and the power of secret techniques is closely related to the level of law comprehension. The lower the comprehension, the more limited the power a secret technique can wield. Essentially, a secret technique is the ultimate application and amplification of the laws one controls. However, Luo Feng was able to create a pinnacle-level secret technique against the odds because of his profound understanding of the Beast God artistic conception. The Beast God itself is an incarnation of fused laws, with every move containing deep law mysteries. After years of studying the Beast God statue, Luo Feng had subconsciously captured its spirit and essence. This immersion in the artistic conception naturally allowed him to incorporate fused laws into his secret technique during its creation, significantly elevating its level beyond the ordinary 10 fundamental laws and endowing it with extraordinary power. Because the Golden Horned Beast engaged in fierce battles for a long time against opponents arranged by the Primal Chaos City leader, its number of appearances on Mist Sand Island significantly decreased. It gradually faded from the sight of other races, and no one had seen the Silver Beast's trace for a long time. In contrast, the Star-Eating World Master steadily rose, becoming one of the widely recognized top overlords on Mist Sand Island. Many alien races mistakenly thought that the Star-Eating World Master avoided battle and showed cowardice by not fighting when the Silver Beast was sweeping across the land, and only began to fight everywhere after the Silver Beast disappeared, which they considered shameful behavior. Little did they know, the Silver Beast had not retreated but had already become invincible on Mist Sand Island, simply unable to find any worthy opponents. Rather than continuing meaningless crushing battles, the Golden Horned Beast chose to engage in the virtual universe, repeatedly confronting powerful enemies carefully arranged by the Primal Chaos City leader, gaining true experience. When Luo Feng finally created his pinnacle-level secret technique, even his human body found no opponents on Mist Sand Island. Therefore, Luo Feng resolutely decided to step into the mainland, where the danger was thousands or even 10,000 times greater, to face more challenging battles. On that even more perilous battlefield, he will face an unprecedented life and death trial and simultaneously officially begin his journey to claim the title of king. Well, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Wish you a wonderful day.